Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will explain about gender issues in journalism and start from media industry to media content issues that contains sexual violence toward against women. Okay, as usual, I will expect you to write down a note from this class today, and you have to send your note through WhatsApp group, and the deadline is next Monday at 10 a.m. Okay, and start from next week I will dismiss the class, so I will not give any online class for 2 weeks, and I will start the class again in June 2020. Okay, I will start from how gender bias in subject of the news stories. In her book, Rosalind Gill explains that on very few of women become the subject of the news in the media. In Asia itself, only 14% from the news that use women as the subject of the stories. And women are very few women appears in politics, government, business, or economy, or any kind of news, and mostly they become the subject of the stories in domestic issues. Another finding is that most of the news about women will focus on their appearance. Like Gay Touchman said that women usually are represented in two ways: their role in the domestic area or their sexual attractiveness. Okay. Besides what I already mentioned before, most women politicians also very few being represented in the media than those who are males. Usually, female politicians will be reported because of their age or their marriage status. And in Indonesia, very few female politician appears in news because in Indonesia only few female goes to politics, and if they made mistake, they will be blamed because of their woman, because of their identity of being women. Even if there are males who did the corruption, who corrupt the government's money, there will be female who is blamed to be greedy for their husband's money, for example. So there is always there are always females who are blamed because of their identity in political news. Then how come the journalistic industry become very gendered? It seems that because not so many female sit in the middle up management in the industry. When female wants to be in a higher level of the industry, they have to sacrifice more. They have to sacrifice not to marry early. They have to delay their pregnancy. They have to take risk of being double burdened between children and work. And it doesn't happen with males because the males will not be problematized because of that kind of demographic reason. The legislation of Indonesian marriage rules put women not as a breadwinner, instead as a housewife. Therefore, it will create the discourse that work is not the main thing for women, because anyway they will be the males males responsibility. Even the unwritten regulation already limit women's working option by creating the discourse that about kodrat women, kodrat perempuan, or the given, or the the natural given nature of being women is becoming a mother. The discourse about the nature of being women already limits the choice for women, for Indonesian female to work. As a female in a middle class and educated and very well educated, Indonesian female prefer to work in female dominated work, where they can hold positions, they have regular working hour, and they have enough salaries, and they will be seen as a good woman. Meanwhile, working in the media industry will work in a male-dominated areas. Even journalists will be considered as a male profession. The public perspective about this work, about this job, occur when females have to go home in a late night, and people around them will see that it's not appropriate for a female. That is why the problem faced by a female when they work in media industry, that they have to be able in facing others perspective, others judgment, justification. Some female in Milan and Utaris writing said that they will choose to live in the apartment when most people live very individually, then they have to live in a housing complex. Here it is, the image of how many female in journalism industry, in news industry in Indonesia. Jawa Post only recruited 11 female in 7 years in 90s. Suara Merdeka in 1998 only recruited 12 female out of 113, and it is less than a third, I think. In 1998, there are only like 700 female, 755 in precisely out of 5,532. So if you count it, it only like maybe a sixth out of the total. But in 2000, the number increased and there are a third of total journalists are female. And what about another reason why female are reluctant to work in media industry is the discrimination against women in media industry. Discrimination not only is caused by the discourse about good women, but also being perpetuated by the management of the media itself. The management tend to be discriminative by they recruit males more than females. Females earn less wage than males. Even for some of the media industry, they will implement a different age of retirement. In Utari and Nilan and Utari's research showed that some radio they will ask for females worker who already married to retire earlier, or their place will be replaced by other female who are not married yet. Another problem in journalism, besides the media management, is also about the news that relate to females problems. One of them is the sexual violence. The female victim are in many times being described as the one who should be blamed because of their sexuality, or they are described that relate to their sexuality. Even in Indonesia, rape is not reported as a crime because our legislation didn't mention that rape is a crime. While the fact sexual abuse, sexual violence will invade women's bodies, women's psychological state of mind, and even it will transgress the privacy's limitation. Here, I will mention a myth in news reporting relate to rape case. First of all, some news discredit the witness or victim. They will discredit the women's reputation by saying that the rape uh, happened because of the victim provoked it by the way they dress, by the way they act. And the second myth is many news reporters mention that rape is a sex and it is called as unwanted sex. Then they think that it is a trivial problems, while in fact rape is not sex, but it is physical attack, like people is shooting others head, like a person who blow a bomb in front of the other's house. It's the same. And the most and many reporters should see that tragically rape happened in a very private, or in a very private locus or area where no other people becomes the witness. And the third myth is rapists are usually from the lower class. Media in many times depict that rape was done by a lower class, while in fact it's not only lower class, or maybe mostly there are very educated and middle up class did the rape. We can see like Reinhard Sinaga. He is a very rich person, and he hold the PhD candidate. He is very educated, but he still become the the predator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.